Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in the words of the Beis Halevi as he describes the tragedy that befalls a person who misuses his words and his speech in the wrong way. And this person, besides the fact that he wipes out the Tzelem Elokim that's inside of him, says the Beis Halevi further like this: V'zehu sha'amar Yeshaya. We had a prophet named Yeshaya Hanavi, and he says, Oy li, woe is to me, ki nidmesi, for I am doomed, ki ish tames v'sayim anochi, I'm a man of impure lips. Now what does he mean when he says impure lips? He means that he was someone that was speaking Lashon HaRa. Ki v'es hamelech Hashem tzvach YISRAEL einai. And I'm amazed, says Yeshaya, that my eyes have still been able to behold the king. You should be amazed by this. Because really somebody who stumbles in the sin of impurifying his lips with Lashon HaRa, he will not be one of those that will be able to receive the glory of the Shechina, of the divine presence. When a person speaks Lashon HaRa, Yeshaya is telling us, you know what you're doing, as we pointed out? You are obliterating the Tzelem Elokim inside of you by trying to wipe away the Tzelem Elokim, the godliness in somebody else. Every parent knows that if there's someone that's in the world that is hurting your children, that is bad-mouthing your children, that is verschmutzing, as we say in Yiddish, saying not nice things about them, hurting your child perhaps in a spiritual or emotional way, the bully in the class who doesn't leave your kid alone and your kid comes home every single day crying and nervous and anxious. How does that parent feel when they see that child, the bully? How does the parent feel when they see the one who goes around and speaks Lashon HaRa and says nasty things about your son or your daughter? How do you feel when you see them? How do you feel if it's even a person who's doing worse things to your child as they get older? Let's say he's pulling your child off of the derech of Yiddishkeit and causing him to sin. How do you feel when you see that person? You don't feel very good towards them. You have a little bit of, you have anger, you're seething in pain, you feel really negative towards them, you're upset with them, you can't believe a person would do such a thing to my child, you're doing that to my kid, you're being a bully to them, you're pulling them off the derech of Yiddishkeit. What are you doing? You don't give them a big smiling countenance and say, Shalom Aleichem, how are you? I love you. Deep down in your heart, you despise this person, even if it's a kid, because you're so upset and you're disappointed of what they're doing to your own child. Says Yeshaya, the way the Beis Halevi is understanding, the Rebbeinu Shalom is the same exact way, which means when he sees us saying Lashon HaRa about his children, remember every single Jew is a child of Hashem, when he hears us speaking Lashon HaRa about another Yid, when he sees us putting down another Jew, when he sees this scene of the hatred that is boiling inside of our hearts, causing us to have disdain for one of Hashem's children in this world, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, that's the way you treat my children? That's the awful behavior that you put towards one of my beloved, precious children that I brought into this world? Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you will not be zeicha, you will not merit to see my Shechina, my shining countenance. I am going to have to distance myself from you because you have distanced yourself from me. I'm going to conceal myself from you because you are concealing yourself from me. I am going to make sure that you cannot see my face because you, the one who speaks Lashon HaRa and degrades my nation, my people, my beloved ones, you have degraded me, says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and therefore I'm concealed from you. Says Yeshaya, the fact that he was a Navi, he was a prophet, and he was on such a high madrega, even though that he spoke Lashon HaRa, HaKadosh Baruch Hu was very kind with him, and he still continued to reveal his countenance of the Shechina. And Yeshaya said, it makes no sense. I know that when a person speaks Lashon HaRa, that they cut off the pleasure of having the Shechina be in their life. They cut off the warmth of the divine presence. They cut off the inner connection, the pinimius of their neshama to the Rebbeinu Shalom. So how does it work? He's Yeshaya Navi. But for the rest of us, we're not Nevi'im, we're not prophets, we're not such great tzaddikim, we don't do everything right, we make a lot of mistakes besides Lashon HaRa, and you can make the long list for yourself. So can imagine, if we speak Lashon HaRa, how much we push the Shechina out of our lives. And then we wonder to ourselves, how come I don't feel HaKadosh Baruch Hu in my life? How come I don't feel so spiritual? How come I don't feel such a deep connection to davening and to learning and to brachas and to working on myself? How come I feel so distant when I come to shul? It feels so cold and empty inside my heart. The reason is because the Rebbeinu Shalom checked out on you because you checked out on Hashem. When you are pushing HaKadosh Baruch Hu away with your words of Lashon HaRa, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you will not be zeichet to be mekabel p'nei Shechinasi, to receive the countenance of my Shechina. So during these days of Elul, as we are approaching Rosh Hashanah, we all want to be close to Hashem. We all want HaKadosh Baruch Hu in our lives. We all want to know that we are going to be basking in the glory of the Shechina on Rosh Hashanah, Se'as Yemei Tshuva, Yom Kippur, and forever and ever. How do we do that? Stop speaking Lashon HaRa and badly about another Jew. Speak good about the Yidden. See the good in the Jews. Be kind and benevolent and favorable to them. And when you remove the words of Lashon HaRa, of evil speech and gossip and degrading comments, so then you become more of a Tzelem Elokim. And when you become more of a Tzelem Elokim and you make others in the Tzelem Elokim, you bring Elokim, you bring the divine presence himself into your life. And then that's the chos and Yitz Hashem. We'll stand before the Rebbeinu Shalom in the days of awe, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu is judging us. He wants to see how much Tzelem Elokim do we have. He'll see a person who doesn't speak Lashon HaRa, who speaks good about his fellow Jews, the children of Hashem, and then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will reveal his countenance to us, and we will be basking in the glory of Hashem's beloved Shechina. Have a wonderful day.